नमः सर्वेभ्यः. Status of women in ancient and medieval India. In recent times, it has become a popular notion that women in ancient India were humiliated and deprived of their fundamental rights and privileges. It is also opined by some that they were treated as mere slaves and freedom was denied to them to live according to their wish and will. In order to support their view, they quote some laws of Manu, such as Nasri Svatantratam, which means woman does not deserve freedom. Bhajet Strii Svatantratam, woman is not fit to be independent, etc., etc., etc. They further argue that Manu was responsible for the degradation of women in India by being the author of such biased dicta. On the close perusal of the history of women in ancient India and the Manusmriti in its entirety, we can conclude that the fact is entirely different as the status and privileges enjoyed by the women in ancient Indian society were of a high order. Moreover, Manu paid a great tribute to women by saying that where women are honored, the gods are delighted, and where they are not honored and humiliated, all sacred rites performed become futile. यत्र नार्यस्तु पूज्यन्ते रमन्ते तत्र देवताः यत्र एतास्तु न पूज्यन्ते सर्वास्तत्र अफलाः क्रियाः. Such a great man is not expected to take a stand against women, which belittles their status as stated above. Therefore, a proper understanding of his dicta, Nasri Swatantratam, Nabhajet Strii Svatantratam, is essential. Now, I would like to give a more reasonable and consistent interpretation of the statements. In the Vedic period, women used to enjoy the highest status in the family. Samrajni Swisure Bhava, Samrajni Swisriyam Bhava, Nanandari Samrajni Bhava, Samrajni Adidev Rushu. This is from the 10th mandal of Rigveda. Become a queen to thy father-in-law. Become a queen to thy mother-in-law. Become a queen to thy husband's sister. Become a queen to your husband's brothers. Have control over them through your enchantingly good behavior. This Vedic hymn reveals the status of woman in a family. This shows that the woman is greatly honored in her father's in-law house. Not only she enjoyed a respectable position in the family, but had an authority over her husband, father-in-law, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and brother-in-law. Women ought to have undergone Upanayana ceremony also before mastering Vedas. After mastering the Vedas, they were allowed to participate in debates along with men. Pura yugeshu narinam maunji bandhana vishyate vedasya adhyayanam samyaku gayatri vachanam tadha. Women in the Vedic age enjoyed the status of teachers also. The sayings such as Matruman, Pitruman, Acharyavan Purusho Veda, which means that a person who has mother, father, and guru is qualified to acquire knowledge. Here we can notice that women occupies first place among teachers. In these days, it is said that women should have equal rights with men, but scriptures have granted them special privilege. Sahasram tu pitrun mata gauravena atirichyate, which means that mother is 1,000 times greater than father. They were also allowed to study Vedas. In the Vedic age, women also were called Rishikas and Brahmavadins. There are a number of women who composed even Vedic hymns. Ramasya, Lopamudra, Shraddha, Kachyayani, Saranga, Yemi, Indrani are worth mentioning in this context. Women like Gargi and Maitreyi studied Vedas extensively and used to participate in debates on Shastras. A shining example is found in lively discussion on Vedanta between Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi. In the Ramayana, we find many instances where women fought for their fundamental rights. For example, Sita, being deprived of following Rama to exile, went to the extent of speaking harsh words in the following way. Kintva vaideha pita me midhiladhipaha raja yamataram prapya striyam purusha vigraham. This is from the Ayodhya Kanda of the Ramayana. O Rama, what will my father Janaka think after having got as his son-in-law, that is you, the embodiment of manliness when you behave like a woman? Similarly, Sekuntala, who argued with her husband Dushyanta when Dushyanta refused to accept Sekuntala as her wife and Bharata as his son. She fought for her rights as wife and son's rights to succeed him to the throne and won ultimately. Similarly, Savitri fought tooth and nail by arguing very convincingly with the god of death, that is Yama, and got back the life of her husband. Draupadi also challenged her husbands and the entire assembly of learned elders when she was wagered in the foul game of dice and consequently faced an ugly situation. In the medieval period also, women were given a highly respectable position. Ubhaya Bharati, the wife of Mandana Mishra, had the privilege of presiding over the marathon debating session where a furious debate took place between the two great scholars of the time, Shankaracharya and Mandana Mishra, on highly esoteric philosophical issues. What is more stunning is that she, as judge, declared Shankara, not her husband, Mandana Mishra, the winner. The impartial judgment that she delivered at the end of the intellectual debate is a landmark in the history of Indian philosophy and has no match anywhere in the world. From all the above cited instances, it is quite evident that women of ancient and medieval India down the centuries were equally intellectual and were never discriminated against on the bias of on the basis of gender. But in subsequent period, the rights of women were somewhat curtailed according to the changing circumstances of the society. Our country was subjected to violent foreign invasions, which took heavy toll on women and also made many onslaughts on our culture and ethos. At this juncture, certain prohibitions were imposed on women in the interest of the society in general and women in particular. As a result, as a part of it, they were deprived of receiving higher learning and allowed to learn only fine arts, restricting them to their houses. Irrespective of our acceptance or rejection, it is an irrefutable fact that women have certain biological limitations and they require protection at every stage. Hence, the restrictions on their movements should be viewed from the changed perspective. In order to protect our small kids, we generally impose certain rules and regulations such as not allowing them to go outside by uh, without any assistance so that they would not come to any grief by accidental fall or hurt. In the same manner, Manu, the lawgiver, might have imposed certain restrictions with the broad framework of rights in tune with the peculiar temper of the times. It is not out of place to mention here that the spirit is more important than the letter, and while commenting a particular point, the entire context should be kept in view, but not the point in isolation. Here, the dicta Nasri Svatantratam deserves to be commented integrally. Here, the complete verse is as follows. पिता रक्षति कौमारे भर्ता रक्षति यौवने तनयस्तविरे भावे न स्त्री स्वतंत्रिमर्हति. Father protects in childhood, husband protects in youth, son protects in old age, and woman does not deserve freedom. Is the literary meaning of the verse. Here, the word rakshati means protects. In the first three lines should be correlated with the fourth line to get the true meaning and purport. It is not out of place to mention here that the very sentences of Vedas are meaningful only in so far as they are related to some action. Moreover, every verb used there in present tense should be understood in imperative sense. Since Smriti is derived from Shruti, that is the Veda, the verb Rakshati, which means protecting, should be understood as should protect. Then it implies that father should protect in childhood, husband should protect in youth, and Son should protect in old age, and a woman should not be left without protection under any circumstances. The result of ignoring this dictum caused many problems in the present day world. Father is not taking proper care in bringing up his daughters, husband his wife, and children their mothers. Female children are killed before they see the light of the world. Dowry deaths are increasing day by day. Gang rapes are witnessed. Old women are left without proper care. Not a single day passes when we do not come across the news of these categories in newspapers. The status of women is not improved despite many acts, legislations, and prohibitions constituted by the government to protect their interests. So, in order to bring back the past glory of women, we should understand the dictum of Manu rightly and implement the same scrupulously. In our country, from time immemorial, women have been given equal status and privileges as men and were never subjected to gender discrimination. They were treated as goddesses, great mothers, valorous queens, and noble teachers. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, describes gender discrimination as partial paralysis. He says, as long as the birth of a girl does not receive the same welcome as that of a boy, so long we should know that India is suffering from partial paralysis. As an optimist, I hope that a golden age will certainly come in near future in which women are also enjoy the equal status with men. Namaste, Sarvebhyah.